taking action for you. 7 Action News at 10 starts right now.
2 children are in the hospital and without their mother and father after a fire ripped through their home in East Point.
We're told the family's house went up in flames overnight.
7 Action News reporter Allie Hoxie is outside Children's Hospital in downtown Detroit. And Allie, how is this young girl doing tonight?
Well, right now I'm told 13-year-old Anya Radosavic is fighting for her life. Family and friends tell me they're still trying to come to terms with how something so horrible could happen to such a loving family.
The one daughter's up on a ventilator right now in critical condition. She's burnt from head to toe.
Tonight, the family of 13-year-old Anya Radosavic is praying for a miracle. They say half of her body is burned and her lungs are filled with smoke from the fire that took the lives of her parents, Steve and Jasmina Radosavic. Tawana Tucker is good friends with the Radosavics and saw them just last night.
It is just so hard because you see them somebody today and they're gone tomorrow.
Fire crews got the call around 7 this morning at the family's home on Nevada Street near Topher in East Point. The oldest daughter, Maya, was able to make it out on her own. Firefighters pulled the remaining 3 out of the home. We are told Steve and Jasmina died at the scene.
They're like 2 peas in a pod, you know.
Marco Iconis is close friends with the family. He's known Steve for the last 18 years. He says Steve and Jasmina were soulmates with a passion for working out.
They embodied an awesome couple, power couple.
He says he is still coming to terms with this tragedy.
I don't really believe it yet, but I'll get through it.
For now, the focus is on Anya as she fights for her life.
Constantly praying and asking for the strength that we need to strive forward.
The oldest daughter, Maya, is out of the hospital. The family has created a GoFundMe page for medical expenses and for the funerals. We put it on our website at WXYZ.com. Reporting live outside of Children's Hospital, Allie Hoxie, 7 Action News.
Tonight, Allie, thank you. At number 2, police are looking for a man who tried to kidnap a 10-year-old boy on Detroit's west side. This happened at around noon near a Citgo gas station on McNichols. Officers saw a man on surveillance video using a puppy to try and lure a boy into his car. The boy managed to get home safely. Police say the suspect was wearing black sunglasses, a green jacket, black pants, and was last seen driving a 2017 silver Dodge Charger. If you see him, you are asked to call Detroit police.
Coming in at number 3 tonight, Detroit police are investigating a deadly shooting on the city's east side. 2 people were shot on the 11,000 block of Freud. Officers say a 56-year-old woman was killed when she was shot in the back. A 63-year-old man was shot in the chest and is now listed, we're told, in critical condition. If you have any information tonight, you are urged to call police.
At number 4, right now, a frantic search is on for this teen here. Take a look at your screen. Larry McBride Jr. Detroit police tell us he was last seen at Joy Road and Southfield Freeway, where he was waiting for a school bus yesterday morning. The 15-year-old has ADHD and is autistic. His mother tells police he has run away from home before. If you've seen him, be sure to contact police.
All right, switching gears here now, folks. I hope you enjoyed being outside today because it was beautiful. However, you may be spending the next few days indoors.
Oh boy. 7 First Alert meteorologist Hallie Vogel is tracking rain. And Hallie, what are we looking at here? Are we going to get pretty washed out or what?
You know, it's going to come and go. So it is going to be one of those days, especially tomorrow. It's going to be tough to plan a long period of time outdoors without seeing the rain coming and going. And it looks like the next several days are really in this similar pattern just because we do have a front and it stalls out and it's really not going to go anywhere. So temperatures right now, we are in the low to mid 50s across Metro Detroit. It was a chilly start to the day. We're at 56 degrees right now in Ann Arbor, 57 downtown, 53 in Pontiac, and we are dry right now, beginning to notice a few sprinkles north of I-69 and then an area of rain back to the west. That area of rain will start to move in after about 10:30 or 11 tonight. So we're starting to see the movement here from west to east across lower Michigan, and there's plenty more to come. So that's where we're looking at the extended period of wet weather. So just really an unsettled weather pattern that we need to track in our hour-by-hour forecast, and also talk about some warmer temperatures, though, ahead in your 7-day.
All right, Hallie, thank you. And coming in at number 6, a deadly crash on I-94 in Taylor closed the westbound lanes of traffic from Telegraph to Merriman for more than 7 hours this morning. Action News reporter Jennifer Ann Wilson with the tragic details police uncovered.
This was a confusing scene for police to figure out at 2 o'clock in the morning, but eventually they determined a 36-year-old man had been traveling eastbound on I-94 near Middle Belt when he lost control, crossed the median, and ended up in the westbound lanes. Police say the man struck a guardrail on the westbound side of I-94, then got out of the car and tried to walk across the westbound I-94 lanes. That's when he was struck by an oncoming vehicle. Police say several other passing vehicles also hit the 36-year-old man. Only one of those drivers, a 39-year-old man, stayed at the scene. The 36-year-old was pronounced dead at the scene, and the freeway was closed to traffic for more than 7 hours during the investigation. Michigan State Police say they believe marijuana use could have been involved. In Taylor, Jennifer Ann Wilson, 7 Action News.
Jennifer Ann, thank you. And coming in at number 7, a graffiti artist now fixing the mural he painted of the Queen of Soul after it was vandalized overnight. We're told it was discovered by a friend of the artist this afternoon. Richard Wilson painted it for murals in the market on the back of the old Busy Bee hardware at Eastern Market. The artist says vandals grabbed paint sitting on a cherry picker to destroy the mural.
First I thought maybe the paint just fell out the machine where I was storing it, but then I realized no, it's got stolen.
Wilson plans to have the mural fixed by tomorrow.
At number 8, the man President Trump nominated for the Supreme Court is facing new setbacks as the FBI begins a week-long investigation into allegations by Dr. Christine Blasey Ford. Allegations Brett Kavanaugh 100% denies. Here's ABC's Janae Norman.
The FBI is now investigating the sexual assault allegations against Judge Brett Kavanaugh after Dr. Christine Blasey Ford testified before the Senate Judiciary Committee.
But the FBI, I believe, is doing a really great job. They have been all over already.
Judge Kavanaugh has vehemently denied those allegations. The investigation coming after Senator Jeff Flake, on his way to the committee vote, was confronted by 2 women who say they are survivors of sexual assault.
What you are doing is allowing someone who actually violated a woman to sit in the Supreme Court. This is not tolerable.
As the drama played out on live television, committee Republicans were ready to vote.
There's simply no reason to deny Judge Kavanaugh a seat on the Supreme Court on the basis of evidence presented to us.
Some Democrats walking out in protest, others still calling for further investigation.
If we want to show Dr. Ford respect, we give her the respect of having her case heard and the evidence looked at.
But it was Republican Senator Flake making a last-minute dramatic move, forcing his majority party to approve a 1-week delay of the full Senate vote to allow for an FBI investigation.
We ought to do what we can to make sure that we do all due diligence with a nomination this important.
The Senate committee saying the investigation will be limited to the current credible allegations. Kavanaugh's high school friend Mark Judge now agreeing to cooperate with the FBI investigation. And the attorney for Deborah Ramirez, who has also accused Kavanaugh of sexual misconduct, confirming the FBI has reached out to his client. Janae Norman, ABC News, Washington.
At number 9, union nurses reached a tentative 3-year deal with the University of Michigan. Their previous contract expired back on June 30th, and they've been working on negotiating a new one ever since. Just last week, the union voted to walk off the job for unfair labor practices, but didn't set a date. Nurses now plan on ironing out the details of their new contract in a series of meetings. They'll vote to ratify a final contract in the coming weeks.
And rounding out the top 10, Monday kicks off the beginning of Domestic Violence Awareness Month. It starts on the 1st of October, but hundreds gathered today in advance for an event paying tribute to lives that have been lost while focusing on how to guard others from the same fate. We spoke to the organizer, who says the goal is to turn pain into purpose.
So many people are going through this, but they're just not telling anyone.
Domestic violence is an issue Sheila White knows all too well.
In 1991, my sister was murdered by her husband. And in 2013, my niece was murdered by a gentleman who followed her home from a party.
Hit twice by the news that both her sister Phoebe and niece Tracy were killed in unspeakable crimes. But since then, White has been turning pain into purpose by jumpstarting an organization called Her Cries Are Heard, one that our own Carolyn Clifford has been advocating for, receiving an award at the group's awareness event tonight.
So I say to women, and I say to men, the first hit is one too many. Words can sting just as bad. Have a plan. Talk to someone. There is help, and you will be okay.
And she's joined by many others, supporters, including victims and their relatives, hoping to curb what some are calling an epidemic.
There were just at least over 6 domestic violence cases, and all of them were fatal. It was either by an ex-boyfriend or ex-husband.
And that, she says, was just in the last month here in Metro Detroit. On average, nationally, 24 people per minute are victims of rape, physical violence, or stalking by an intimate partner. That's more than 12 million people a year. But it's a statistic White says will decrease when friends are quick to recognize the signs.
If you notice a person is quiet or a person is jumpy when the phone rings, or if you notice a difference in that person's personality, ask that person, are you okay?
And looking out for a friend is extremely important. And for those seeking help, there is a 24/7 hotline you can call. It's 1-800-799-SAFE.
All right, still to come tonight on Action News at 10. Shark attack, a teenager taken to the hospital. How heroes being in the right place at the right time may have saved his life.
But coming up next, a massive earthquake rocks Indonesia, the stunning death toll, and why officials believe it's only going to get worse.
Tsunami waves triggered a powerful 7.5 earthquake in Indonesia, killing more than 400 people. Hundreds gathered for a festival on a beach yesterday when they were swept away. Right now, authorities are worried the death toll will rise as dozens of people are trapped underneath the rubble of a hotel. We're told thousands of homes, hospitals, shopping malls, and hotels also collapsed. Rescue crews treated some of the injured in makeshift medical tents. We're told the Red Cross is also sending help.
2 Mississippi officers are dead after an early morning shootout at a home. They are 31-year-old Corporal Zach Moak and 35-year-old Patrolman James White. They were responding to a report that shots had been fired at the home. So far, no word on what led to the gunfight, but officers say it involved 25-year-old Marquise Aaron Flowers. All 3 men were rushed to the hospital where both officers later died. Flowers was wounded, but later arrested.
A shark attacked a 13-year-old boy in San Diego County early this morning, and at this hour, doctors are still treating the child's traumatic injuries. The family instructed hospital staff not to reveal the child's condition. Here's ABC's Mark Remillard.
This California beach, the scene of a dramatic shark attack.
We have a shark attack. I'm asking for a helicopter. We need to airlift somebody out for a shark attack.
The call coming in around 7 a.m. A 13-year-old boy attacked off Beacon Beach in Encinitas, California.
At the time, it was opening season for lobster season. There was multiple other people in the water diving. The shark was seen in the water by the bystanders. They weren't sure exactly what type of shark it was.
One of the boy's rescuers described the terrifying scene.
I realized that he was yelling, I got bit, help, help, help. Once we threw him up on the kayak and started heading in, that's when I looked back and a shark was behind the kayak.
Lifeguards treating the boy on the beach. He was then airlifted to a nearby hospital with traumatic injuries to his upper torso.
This patient received very rapid and quick response by the trauma team, the emergency room.
The beach now closed for at least 48 hours.
The number one concern was public safety. We're asking people not to go in the water.
Signs have been posted warning people to avoid the area. Mark Remillard, ABC News.
Well, some of Michigan's best athletes are going for the gold in the 5th annual Special Olympics Michigan State Fall Games. Nearly 1,600 Michigan athletes will showcase their skills in the state finals for flag football, soccer, cycling, golf, and kayaking. Today they had events in Chelsea, Ypsilanti, and Canton. Organizers say the event is always an amazing experience for everyone involved.
It's easy to just say it's life-changing, but it truly is. For a lot of these athletes, they have never had a chance to feel a part of a team, to hear people cheering for them.
So special. And the games, they run through Sunday.
There was a very special dedication ceremony for the Viola Liuzzo Park in northwest Detroit. The park is named after the civil rights activist and Detroit native. The mother of 5 was shot and killed by Klansmen while shuttling demonstrators in her vehicle following the historic Selma to Montgomery voting rights march in 1965. In 1982, the city dedicated Liuzzo Park in her honor. She studied nursing at Wayne State University and later joined the civil rights movement. The school awarded her a posthumous honorary doctorate degree in 2015 and started a scholarship in her name.
All right, we're going to switch gears to weather here. We did have a pretty nice day all around outside. I really enjoyed being out and about and running errands. That sunshine just helps so much.
It makes all the difference. Even with temperatures below average, you get a little sunshine and it feels good on a fall day.
When the sun goes away, it gets a little chilly, right?
And we'll talk about tomorrow. So there you go. When the sun goes away, the rain comes, and that's what we're in for. A change in the forecast before we even finish the weekend. Today we made it to 64. 68 is an average high now. So I know we like to at least keep some of that warmer weather. Many of us do. We'd like to see temperatures in the 70s. We'll get there in the 7-day, but today it was a pretty typical fall day. 89 degrees, the record high back in 1953. We stayed nice and dry today. 45, the low in the city, but most areas saw temperatures in the 30s. It was definitely a very chilly start to the day. So temperatures right now, we're at 57 degrees downtown, 56 in Ann Arbor. Holly, you're in the low 50s, and Port Huron as well. Our temperatures will drop back into the 40s overnight, and we do have some cloud cover. We even had a little bit of rain advancing to the east, so it's coming across the area through Grand Rapids, moving into Lansing. So we are going to see rain showers come and go as we head through the overnight hours and really setting the stage for periods of rain tomorrow too. We have a light wind out of the north. Sunrise in the morning is at 7:28. Sunset tomorrow is at 7:18. So over the next few hours, our temperatures not really dropping quickly, pretty steady, low 50s before midnight and dropping down to about 50 by 2 a.m. Upper 40s in the city, but I think a lot of areas will be in the mid 40s for lows. You look at the area of rain back towards Chicago, moving through Illinois. So this is what we're going to drag in as we go through the the course of our Sunday, and it's extended period of unsettled weather. It's a system that just doesn't want to go anywhere. So it is the dividing line too between some of the warmer air to the south and the cooler air to the north. Look at Marquette, 37 right now, 44 in Alpena, and it looks like this will split our area in half too. I'll show you in a moment. Going to talk about the rain chances. It does increase overnight. This is about 9:30 in the morning. If you're trying to squeeze in long periods outdoors tomorrow, maybe you're doing some yard work, be aware that these showers will be coming and going. I think we'll squeeze in some dry time though in the afternoon, and then by the evening it just starts to pick up again. So that's what we're facing. And Monday, it looks like the same. Scattered showers coming and going through the morning hours, and then picking up more north of I-69 toward the afternoon and evening, and some of that could be thunder, but most of what we're dealing with just run-of-the-mill rain showers. Temperatures tomorrow, I talked about the warm front. As it lifts to the north, we'll see temperatures closer to about 70, maybe even above from the city southward. But to the north, those temperatures in the 50s and 60s, and this is what we're stacking up for the next couple of days. Cooler temperatures to the north, warmer to the south, thanks to that warm front. So temperatures tonight, 49 degrees in the city, and call it increasing clouds, so mostly cloudy with rain chances increasing. Periods of rain during the day tomorrow, temperatures near 70 and upper 60s near 70 on Monday. And there it is, a string of 70-degree days starting Tuesday through Friday. Those temperatures even as warm as 77 on Wednesday. You notice one thing though, again, a lot of rain chances here in the next 7 days. So it is above average as far as what we're dealing with rain, but so are the temperatures Wednesday. 77 and dry, I think we'll take that.
Yeah, I will take that. I'm just going to zero in on the middle of the week and focus on the positive.
And we have a 10-day forecast coming up, so I'll let you know if that warmer weather sticks around.
It's a short string, but it's still a string of 70s.
It looks good.
Yeah. All right, Hallie, thank you. Still to come tonight, going digital to keep you safe. How stores are using technology to protect you from foodborne illnesses.
And battling PTSD, scientists trying to stop it before it even starts. How they're using for veterans, a rowboat, and the Atlantic Ocean. That's next.
What if there was a way to stop PTSD before it even started?
Researchers are working to make that happen, and they're getting a little bit of help from veterans in an unexpected but extreme way.
Kamasi Aaron shows us how.
It may seem strange to see a rowboat in the middle of a college campus.
This could be our whole world.
But perhaps even stranger is that in a few weeks, this boat will be in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean with 4 veterans on board.
We like to compare ourselves to the Jamaican bobsled team.
Alex Evans is a skipper.
I've never rowed in an ocean.
But he's confident he and his team, Fight or Die, can be the first ever All-American military veteran ocean rowing team to race across the Atlantic Ocean, all to raise awareness about mental health for veterans.
So this is where we'll be sleeping. We'll have 2 guys at a time in there.
It's something everyone on this team has struggled with.
Yeah, anxiety, panic, insomnia were three of my biggest issues.
So they hope this journey can send a message to other vets.
You can do anything you want. You're not damaged, you're not hurt, you're likely better than everybody else. So we wanted to show them they still have that.
This space, it's really small, but this is where the vets are going to be sleeping. They do 2 hours sleeping, then 2 hours rowing. These are extreme conditions, and researchers are going to be watching everything they do to see how they're going to react.
We really like to know and are trying to figure out how we can better prepare people who are voluntarily going into environments like this.
Dr. Jacob Hyde is a veteran and leads the military psychology program at the University of Denver. His team will be working with these vets before, during, and after their journey and use that information to help veterans, astronauts, and others placed in extreme environments.
People get put voluntarily into stressful environments, then they get out of those environments with problems like PTSD, traumatic brain injury, substance use. We are trying to better figure out how to prepare people on the front end to go into those environments so that bad things don't happen to them.
So these are the rowing seats.
Beginning with the end in mind.
And I think we're all realizing, that the military community is pretty much in dire need of, some attention here. And I think we're about to get it.
For purpose beyond this boat, I'm Kumasi Aaron.
All right, it seems like a really cool way to potentially fight a really big disease.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, still ahead in our next half hour, a grandmother wasn't backing down the shocking sight she came face to face with and the even more shocking way she handled the situation.
And up next, the staggering number of inmate deaths inside the Macomb County Jail. Tonight, the 7 investigators are holding the sheriff accountable. Stay with us.
Taking action for you. You're watching 7 Action News at 10.
Over the last several years, nearly 20 inmates have died inside Macomb County's jail.
Family members and advocates say many of them didn't have to.
Tonight, 7 investigator Ross Jones is sharing the stories of those who died and how the county sheriff is responding.
Ashley Hinneberg died from an overdose. Jennifer Myers was jailed for less than 2 weeks before dying from sepsis. Alvarez Molin sought medical attention 12 different times in jail, according to his family, before he died of a pulmonary embolism. They are 3 of the 19 inmates who have died in the Macomb County Jail since 2012, the most recent death happening just this month.
The jail commander on the day shift called me. Ryan had been involved in an altercation.
Debbie Hagerman's son Ryan was jailed for less than 24 hours before he was beaten to death. His cellmate, an 18-year-old man who suffered from mental illness, had already attacked one jail inmate before setting his sights on Hagerman. The attack went on for nearly 2 minutes before deputies stepped in. Sheriff Anthony Wickersham told us none of his staff violated jail policy.
Mr. Hagerman died.
Yes.
And no one was disciplined?
I'd have to look at the file. Again, I don't know exactly where everybody was coming from and what was going on.
Okay.
But yes, 2 minutes, seemed like a long time.
Does it mean because somebody's in jail, their life is any less valuable than somebody else's? That's what I think sometimes, that it's like, oh, well.
Dan Koropkin is the ACLU of Michigan's Deputy Legal Director.
19 deaths should set off alarm bells. They should set off alarm bells in Macomb County. They should set it off at the state level. And if none of that works, they should set it off at the federal level.
Apart from the human cost, these deaths come at a cost to taxpayers. Just this year, Macomb County settled a wrongful death suit with the family of Bronislaw Kulpa, locked up in one of the jail's detox cells. When guards tried to move Kulpa to the jail's medical unit, he resisted, causing a team of deputies to restrain him, with one 300-pound deputy placing his knee in the center of the 63-year-old's back. Kulpa suffered a heart attack and later died. The county settled the wrongful death case for $1.6 million.
When you hear 19, it sounds like it's a lot. But when we look at 6 of them are suicides, 1 was the homicide, and again, 1 death in this jail is too much.
Don't those count too?
Yeah, they all count. Yes, they all count.
Sheriff Wickersham told us his deputies closely follow jail policies and procedures to keep inmates safe. But in neighboring Oakland County's jail, which houses hundreds more each day, officials saw less than half the number of deaths Macomb reported.
We do our best. We do our best with what we have, and we have policies, we have procedures.
I think he just needs to look at his track record. I mean, how can you just ignore all this that's happening? I mean, these are just human beings that are, they did something wrong and they're in jail, but they're getting beat up, they're getting injured, they're losing their lives.
Sheriff Wickersham says that his office has taken steps recently to keep inmates safer, like installing body scanners in 2016 to detect whether inmates are smuggling in drugs or other contraband. And in wake of 3 suicides in a span of months last year, the jail temporarily ordered more frequent checks on inmates. Now, we should point out, while the county did settle the wrongful death lawsuit filed by Bronislaw Kulpa's family, their insurer ended up covering more than $1 million of that settlement. The Hagerman family did sue Macomb County over the death of their son Ryan. It settled for $600,000. I'm Ross Jones, 7 Action News.
Well, companies are going digital to try and stop foodborne illness outbreaks like Salmonella and E. coli. Right now, a lot of stores and producers just use pen and paper to track where food came from and where it goes. That means it could take a while to find where a tainted product came from. Stores have to then contact the supplier to get more paper records. Then they can contact producers. Walmart decided to go digital after one outbreak. It worked with IBM to develop handheld scanners to store product information. It only takes a few seconds to find a product's history. Other brands are also starting to use the technology that includes Kroger, Tyson Foods, Dole, McCormick, and Unilever.
In tonight's Health Alert, we have new information about last year's deadly flu season. The Surgeon General says most of the 180 kids who died weren't vaccinated. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention estimates as many as 2/3 of those children would have lived if they had gotten their flu shots. An estimated 80,000 people died from the flu last year. The Surgeon General urges kids as early as 6 months old to get vaccinated. Businessman Ted Turner revealed he's suffering from Lewy body dementia. The 79-year-old media icon made the announcement while speaking to veteran journalist Ted Koppel. Turner said his condition causes fatigue and forgetfulness. He pioneered cable news, founding CNN in 1980. While already at the helm of Turner Broadcasting System, he sold both entities to Time Warner in 1996.
A grandmother from Florida decided to fight back when she had a very unusual visitor try to break in. The Florida woman says she opened her blinds expecting to see her cat on the back porch, but what she got instead was a man standing there, completely naked.
I always look first. I open the blinds. I say, oh hell, that's not my cat.
Well, the woman who once worked in security and law enforcement decided that she'd give the intruder a fright. So she popped out her teeth and yelled. That did the trick as the man took off and was later arrested. When asked, she says she wasn't scared of the man at all.
He was just a dumbass.
Oh, God bless this woman. She is a riot.
Oh, good for her. That is one tough grandmom.
Yes, I wish she were my grandma.
Yeah, for sure. All right, folks, still ahead tonight. Record broken, a free diver. Best her own achievement, how far she went down, and the astonishing length she managed to hold her breath.
And coming up next, runaway cow. The huge animal Hoofs is trying to escape police, how it got loose, and where it led them during the chase. Stay with us.
A cow led police in California on a very, very low-speed chase. It got loose with a bunch of its buddies after the trailer carrying them crashed into another vehicle. At least 25 cows ran onto the highway after the accident. You're taking a look at this video here. Responding officers helped round out most of the cattle pretty quickly. However, this one here didn't go so easily. It led police down side streets and even through a vineyard before finally being corralled.
Smart cow there, huh? Well, a free diver just set a new world record. The woman from Rome broke the record by free diving more than, get this, 350 feet. In case you're wondering, she held her breath more than 3.5 minutes. And she's actually no stranger to this achievement. She was the previous record holder as well. This dive added another 16 feet to the record that she set last year.
Wow.
Yeah,
good
pretty
for her.
incredible.
Well, coming up on 7 Action News at 10, the Spartans and Wolverines both victorious today, but neither game was easy.
Justin Rose brings us up to speed on a very busy day in college football. Next in sports, but first let's check back in with Hallie.
Rain to finish the weekend. We'll time it out and talk about some mild weather in your 10-day forecast ahead.
Going on the road and winning hasn't always come easy for the Michigan Wolverines. After dropping their only road contest of the season, the Wolverines came back home and seemingly started to get rolling, albeit against overmatched competition. The Wolverines had a stiffer than expected test at Northwestern this evening. Michigan sleptwalked through the first quarter and a half. The Wildcats, though, they were fired up, started the game on a 17-0 run, and that's the deficit the Wolverines have never come back from on the road. Karan Higdon had something to say about it, though. He gets the Wolverines on the board before halftime, 17-7 at the break. Michigan would get 2 field goals and shut down the Wildcat offense in the second half. The offense finally came back to take the lead on Higdon's burst with just over 4 minutes left in the game. The Wildcats, one more chance to win it all, but Josh Uche, he decided to end it without a throw. Sack as time expires. Michigan completes their 3rd biggest comeback in school history with the 20-17 win.
Going into this game, we knew either we're going to beat them by a lot or this place was going to be a battle. And I said, if we beat them by a lot, that's great. But if not, we're made for this. Like, we busted our butts trying to get to this point, and we weren't about to let anybody take that away from us.
Take a break, Chase. Next Saturday on WXYZ, Countdown to Kickoff kicks off at 11 a.m. Maryland, of course, coming to Ann Arbor to visit the Wolverines at noon. Brad Galley and I live with in-depth features, interviews, and much, much more. Make sure you join us next Saturday. The Spartans, meanwhile, injuries have made the offensive line a merry-go-round and hurt the productivity of the run game. That, in turn, has put more pressure on quarterback Brian Lewerke, who accounted for 6 turnovers in just 3 games so far this season. The Spartans hosted Central Michigan today. At the start, the Chippewas were thinking upset. They had a 3-point lead, trying to add to it before David Dowell picks off Tommy Lazaro, took it back into Central territory. Lewerke from there finished the drive on his own. A 3-yard design run, the Spartans took the lead 7-3. Just before halftime, Lewerke would do it again. This time, though, a little bit different. A pass play was called. No one open in the end zone, or the red zone, excuse me. Lewerke decides to dive into the end zone. Spartans up 17-3 at the break. MSU would expand the lead to 31-3 in the second half, but never gave up. Central, that is. Jonathan Word takes the lateral, then throws it to wide open Tony Pelesian, cuts the lead to 11, but the Spartans able to shut it down from there, winning it 31-20.
Offensively, we just kind of got stopped a little bit going into the little bit in the third and fourth quarter. Probably should have put up more points, but you know, it just sucks that we can't finish out teams. I really want to be able to do that. Hopefully, we'll be able to do that at some point.
Yeah, the win today for the Spartans, though, didn't come without a cost. Wide receiver and Walled Lake product Cody White broke his left hand diving into the end zone here in the second quarter. Head coach Mark D'Antonio said that, quote, Cody will be out for a little while, but not diving further into the severity of the injury. Get well soon, Cody. An action living up to its name today. Wild one between Western Michigan and Miami of Ohio. Fourth quarter Western John Wasenick finds Jaden Reed for Reed's fourth touchdown catch of the game. Redhawks, though, answer back. Gus Ragland pass complete to Dominique Robinson, 6 yards for the TD. The 2-point conversion failed. Miami goes up by 5. Back on the other end, John Wissick calls his own number, 2 yards for the score. Broncos back and forth battle, win it 40-39. How about Eastern Michigan and Northern Illinois needing overtime? Second straight OT game for the Eagles. Second play of the first overtime. Shaq Van dives over the pylon, 14-yard touchdown for the green and white. Northern Illinois would answer on the ensuing possession. Marcus Childers connects with Ty Harmston, ties it, and keeps the game going. Skipping ahead to the third overtime after an EMU field goal misses, Huskies close it out. Trey Harbinson, a yard out. Northern Illinois wins it 26-23 in triple overtime. Third-ranked Clemson getting a scare from Syracuse today. Syracuse beat them last year. Trevor Lawrence making his first start. Goes out of the pocket, hit hard near the sidelines. Lawrence hit near the shoulder area, ushered to the locker room. Did not return. Fourth quarter on the 1 and 4th down. Eric Dungy rushes in for the touchdown. Syracuse up 23-13, but later in the fourth, Travis Entienne rushes in for the touchdown. Clemson takes the lead and holds on to avoid the upset, 27-23. The Pistons get their preseason underway on Wednesday in Oklahoma City, but they've taken their show on the road to start training camp. They spent the last week practicing at Chrysler Center in Ann Arbor, capped it off with an open scrimmage for fans today at high noon. New head coach Dwayne Casey happy with how the week progressed.
What this gave us today is a good video lesson for defense. Defensively, some of our shot selections, I've told guys it doesn't matter whether they start, come off the bench. Everybody's going to have their opportunity.
It was fun. You know, we still got a lot to work on, and but you know, this next coming week would be good to work on some little things we need to figure out.
Red Wings begin their regular season Thursday at home, but wrapped up the preseason tonight with yet another win. Not many of the big names played tonight, but the Wings in the preseason have won 7 of the 8 games they played. Tonight against Toronto, they wrapped it up with a 5-1 win at Little Caesars Arena. The Red Wings must get to the final 23-man roster before Wednesday. Tigers playing their second-to-last game of the season tonight in Milwaukee, trailing the Brewers 5-3 in the 5th inning. Nick Castellanos, another home run for him, a solo shot, 23rd of the season to close the gap. Tied it at 5 in the 7th until Christian Yelich way off. Second home run of the night for him. MVP chants ringing throughout Miller Park. Tigers lose 6-5. Their season finale is tomorrow. But happy fans, of course. Michigan State, and the Lions have a big opportunity to make a statement against the Cowboys tomorrow in Dallas.
Great. Fingers crossed.
That was busy. We got a busy weekend.
We have had a busy weekend. We need a win from the Tigers, and we need a win from the Lions.
It would be nice if the Tigers could end on a nice win.
It would be.
Yeah, it would be nice. All right, well, we'll see, but things are changing in the weather department. Today was a nice day to be outdoors. Temperatures, I know, were a little bit cool. 68 is what we averaged. 64 is what we ended up with. Temperatures upper 50s to low 60s across the board, but these cool nights, even chilly nights, will help the fall color report, and we're looking at good color. If you're taking a trip to the UP, we're under good fall colors right now. Some of that color starting to change through northern lower Michigan, but overall it's the UP seeing the best colors. And looking at the rain, you're going to start to see that change quickly. Moving into Lansing right now, some of that rain just back to our west, so give it about another hour or so to hit areas like Livingston County, into areas like Howell. It'll be mainly after 11 for most of us, though. Temperatures right now 57 degrees downtown with a low of 49. Mid to upper 40s for lows tonight, so not quite as chilly. Our temperature at 49 right now in Royal Oak. We're at 50 degrees in Port Huron. Looking at this warm front, this is what we're going to keep an eye on. This warm front down to the south. It's pushing in the moisture, and it's really going to start to shift to the north as we go through the day tomorrow, but it is going to waver north and south throughout the day. So that's going to be where we're going to see some of these showers coming and going along that front, and you can see scattered showers. This is 10 o'clock in the morning from Grand Rapids to Lansing to Flint, so very scattered in nature, and then we'll get a little bit of dry time, more showers redeveloping for the afternoon. So as far as timing out, it's going to be difficult just because that warm front is so close by. And then Monday night or Sunday night into Monday morning, I should say, more of the same. The good news is this is all basically rain showers. As far as any thunder, that looks to be more prevalent to Monday, second half of the day into Monday night, but well north of us. So I think most of it's just going to be plain rain showers. If you like the milder weather for fall, this may make you smile too. Our 6 to 10 day outlook does show a lot of those oranges and reds for the eastern half of the United States, meaning temperatures do look to be above average for a little bit longer. Temperatures tonight, we're down to 49, increasing clouds, that rain chance already knocking on our door, near 70 degrees tomorrow. Cooler temperatures north of the city, 50s and 60s there, and then we'll see more of that kind of split forecast for Monday. Cooler to the north, warmer to the south, but 70s, and even that 10-day forecast says temperatures at or above average for most days in that 10-day. Well, there's a lot of rain to talk about coming and going, though, over the next 10 days as well. So a little soggy, but still mild.
All right, we'll take it.
Yeah.
Looks like it's time to bring up the soup recipe Rolodex again.
There you go.
Yeah, here we go.
You start to feel that slow cooker coming right out of the oven.
That
Get
time
those
of year.
recipes.
All right, well, coming up next, one of the best. What is the best when it comes to breakfast?
The special food being served up at Kate's Kitchen. Stay with us.
The great breakfast spot. Almost everyone has their favorite.
That's right. In the city of Flat Rock, that place is Kate's Kitchen. Photojournalist John Chelino shows us why it's so special.
Hey, how you doing? Good to see you.
For nearly 40 years, this breakfast spot in Flat Rock, next to the railroad tracks, works hard to uphold quality and tradition. And every morning, the crew at Kate's Kitchen starts from scratch.
It's good people, it's good food. It's just one of those easy hometown stops.
You have a good day.
The cozy 16-table diner makes its own bread, pies, biscuits, and specialty items like these pecan rolls. Kate's is now being run by Kate's granddaughter Alexis and longtime manager Gina Putty.
We have such a dedication to our quality, and aside from that, we are also part of tradition.
This is just home cooking, and it's fresh, and it's
You can taste the difference.
Oh, because it's the best pie in the world, especially with the whipped cream.
You can't go wrong with homemade pies they make. Huge variety.
And while they're only open to 2 p.m., chances are their home-cooked breakfast could hold you to the next morning.
I myself just landed from LA, took the red eye in, and that's one of the first stops we make.
People ask all the time why we don't move or expand, but I think sometimes change, we don't want to change it. It has its charm and we like it where it's at.
I mean, you've got to have that one place where you can all gather in the morning and know that you're going to be able to sit down, feel comfortable, feel like family, and just relax and enjoy your breakfast.
I'll be right back to the gravy, okay?
Check out the bacon. How many crispy bacons do you ever find like this thick?
It comes with challenges, but it's always worth it.
Because it's like home.
And as sure as early morning on Huron River Drive gives way to afternoon, Kate's Kitchen is getting ready to start from scratch all over again.
I'm the third generation managing of this place, and I think my grandma would smile down every single day at everything that we're doing.
Bye. See you tomorrow.
Wow, now I want some breakfast, especially some of that bacon. And while Kate's Kitchen is resistant to change, they do have a Facebook page.
However, you're going to want to leave the credit and debit cards at home because they only accept cash.
And by the way, Kate's is closed every Monday.
All right. Looks real good, Alan. We're going to have to go.
For sure. All right, let's check in one last time with Hallie.
Well, the good news is I have Tuesdays off as well, so maybe we can go down there then. Well, temperatures over the next couple of days near 70 and then going up from there. So we are tracking rain tonight, at times during the day tomorrow. Really kind of that rainy, unsettled pattern as we go through the start of the week, even Monday. 77 on Tuesday, and we do make it back into the, let's see, back into the mid-70s. I'm just going to switch this over. I'm not sure. There it is. Hey. 77 on Wednesday. I wanted to show you how great Wednesday looks because that looks to be the completely dry day. 77 for a high. So we're in good shape with these warm temperatures, at least for a little while.